Welcome to Chamber Connection. I'm Mary Hodson, President of the Chamber of Commerce and Tourism here in Hutchinson, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today. Why do we do this? We've been doing this, we just talked offline a little bit. We've been doing this for over 10 years, and it's a great way to educate the community and you, your neighbors, your friends, your family on what's happening in Hutchinson. And you may have heard there's some layoffs that have happened in the last couple of months. So I brought in my friends, and they are going to talk about CMJTS, Central Minnesota Jobs and Training and Services. And I can do that pretty well. It just rolls off my tongue. So I want you to welcome Bridget and Corey.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks for
Thanks,
being
Mary.
here. Okay, so Central Minnesota Jobs, Training and Services. Let's talk about what does that mean at the very base level.
Sure. We're a nonprofit. We're a partner with the Career Force Center here in town, right next to the college. So we work in partnership with the state and the Career Force system to provide training and educational services to people in the community to help them to get a good job that pays well and pays a living wage.
Okay, now Corey, can you translate that for us?
Yeah.
Because you know I'm short, went right over my head.
So I'll just put it at the level like down here. So if you
Yeah.
get laid off or you're having troubles finding employment, we help you get there. We help you. Maybe you need some additional training. Maybe you need help with your resume. Maybe you need help with some mock interviews. All sorts of services like that. We think about what's the quickest way back to employment and what's going to get you there.
Wow, so I feel like this encompasses a lot. So let's kind of dig in a little bit because you have so many different programs. I mean, I feel like, Bridget, I send you an email every day.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, we're dealing with this. We have this. How can we manage this? What's this? Can you help with this?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just start talking about maybe some of the most used programs and services that you work with.
Well, we have the Career Force Center, which is open Monday through Friday, and it's free. So anyone can go in there, use the computers, write a resume, apply for jobs.
Wait, you said free and anyone.
Yes.
2 keywords.
Yes.
Yeah. Who doesn't like free?
Free, and anyone can go to the Career Force Center here in Hutchinson. Randy's there every day. He can help you if you need to apply for unemployment and use a computer. Sometimes navigating websites to apply online and uploading your resume can be a challenge. So we have staff there that can help people do that. We have resume review. We do mock interviews. So that's just kind of the initial services that people can get when they walk in the door.
Kind of front
to
door
Career Force.
service.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so then when we dig a little deeper, what does that look like?
Well, then we also work with businesses, and so that's why you and I are such great friends, because I want to fill all the open positions in town with the people that are coming in our doors. So
Wait a minute, that's what I want to do. Fill all the positions in town.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So we are
Okay.
trying to do that as well. So we're helping those people kind of take those steps to be a good candidate for an employee. And then I'm also working with businesses to support their growth. And then we have funding available for businesses to train their current staff so they can keep them and they can promote them. And then that opens up entry-level positions, which hopefully we can fill through the Career Force Center customers.
So that's one of the things that we are seeing at the chamber, right? It's about retention, retaining the employees that you have, because training and onboarding is the most expensive part of employment.
Yes.
Okay, one of the many, but it's really, it takes a lot of dollars and resources to get somebody onboarded and trained.
Yes.
So if you can work people within, so what you're saying is somebody might be at this level, but now this training that you can help pay for will get someone bumped up here, allowing somebody else to come in the door.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay.
Keep what they have and just
Okay.
Educate them their way so that they want to stay there. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
That's how you keep your key people. You give them opportunities for training and promotion. And so it's called Incumbent Worker, and we have up to $25,000 that we can help with a business to pay for that training for their staff.
Okay, so I feel like you just went like this.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Make it rain.
Let's make it rain,
No.
because I think a lot of people and a lot of businesses don't realize that this is an opportunity. And I think also people don't really understand that a lot of times it's not always the final dollar amount on the check every week or two that makes somebody stay or go. right? They want to feel valued.
Yeah.
When you get ongoing training, professional development, personal development, that's part of what people are looking for.
Yeah, it's an investment, right? That's an investment in
Yeah.
that employee.
And also, when people come in the door and they're using our free services, they might be eligible for Central Minnesota Jobs and Training programs.
Okay.
So we have programs that if they're eligible, they can enroll and get help with going back to school or getting current training and skills in order to get that next best job.
Okay, so tell me more. Who fits these
So
categories?
we have an adult program maybe that's our biggest program. So inside the adult program, there's sort of two categories. First would be the dislocated worker program. So anybody that gets laid off from employment, if you get laid off and you're collecting unemployment, you're automatically qualified for those services. So you'd automatically be qualified for. Again, it's the quickest way to employment. So that isn't always training first. Sometimes that's a job search first, right? There's lots of people that can just step into the next job without any problems, but we can still help them with that. Other people, say they've maybe been in a job for a long time and they've been at the same place, they're skilled, but in order to go to the next place, they got to have some different skills. They got to upskill. They're doing a job search and they're seeing that everybody needs this. Well, I don't have that. So we can help them get a short-term certification or a 2-year program, just depending on what that looks like, but we can pay for up to a 2-year program with that. So that's a dislocated worker. I'll get just one second, you had a question,
you're
but the adult side would be maybe someone that's underemployed or is on some sort of a supplemental income program like SNAP or MFIP or something like that, where they're receiving some assistance from the county because they're just not making it on their own. So we can work with them as well. Criteria are a little different, but it ends up really being the same.
So I would think because you're on campus, you probably have a pretty synergistic, close relation. That was a big word. A close relationship with Ridgewater College.
Yeah, that's the point, right?
Right.
That's why we're there, so that we can connect students to our own local educational provider. So, not everybody goes to Ridgewater. That's not the choice for everybody,
Right.
but it is a nice connection for us to have
sure.
there. So.
Now you said you have adult programs. I do happen to know that you have youth programs.
Yep.
Yes.
So rock, paper, scissors, who's going to tell me about youth programs?
I'll take youth programs because I was I'm a youth employment specialist for several years, and I loved it. We work with young adults up to age 24. So as long as they're 24 and they meet the criteria of being at risk, and that can mean anything. That can mean a foster kid. Maybe they dropped out. Maybe they're behind in credits. Maybe they're just living in mom's basement and they don't know how to move forward. Then if those kids and young adults can enroll with the youth program, and we can provide some training assistance. We can connect them with employers. We have paid internships, which I know we've partnered with the chamber
Yep,
a couple times on
absolutely.
that. And that's helping those young adults to get those initial work readiness skills, teaching them the soft skills, how to be a good employee, all those firsts that you take when you do that. And then providing, some of them do have barriers, so we're right there to help talk them through it and work with the employer so that it's a success on both ends.
Tell me if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. I am of a more wisdom-based, let's just face it, I'm getting older, right? Let's just put it out there.
Where are you going there?
Wisdom-based.
Where are you going with this? I am wisdom-based now. Yes, I have, I got a lot going on, right? I feel like in school, busy parents, kids aren't always getting some of those basic skill sets, those baseline skills, soft skills. Everybody has kind of a different code word for it. Are you seeing the same thing? And how can you help with some of those?
Well, we work with the youth and we help them with being kind of a mentor outside of the family. So a lot of families have been struggling the last couple of years. So it's a great place to have an outside conversation about what they really want to do and what's really important to them. And we work closely with the high school and Tiger Path because we really want to help those kids identify their skills. Yes, Tiger Path is amazing. Identify what they want to do and then find them the local businesses in town that can help them get there so they can kind of start their lives.
So you've done this for a while. How have you seen the needs change over the years for those people looking for work?
Maybe you should take that one, Corey.
Yeah, I think I know I have to rethink about what you just asked me because I was expecting her.
I know, right? So
Sorry.
how do you think? How do you think
How has it
that?
changed?
How has it changed?
Yep,
How's that
yep,
worker
got it.
changed?
So we're a little bit opposite the economy, right? So we're a little bit, when the economy is good, we're not as busy. When the job market's down or the economy is bad, then we're crazy busy. So we're a little bit opposite. So for us, we see a different group of people, maybe just a different skill set coming through the doors for us right now. But certainly those things have changed. You know, the older generation, they don't have very good computer skills. They don't have very good tech skills, and they kind of don't want to learn it. Some of them do, but some of them don't. And it's just really hard.
I'm just gonna say I learned how to do 2 new things today that I felt like I should have known.
You really can learn it, right? It's just a matter of wanting to.
Yeah.
And but for us, everything is online now, right? Every application, all those processes, they're online. And so it you know, as gently as you can, you want to say, you probably need to upskill this, right? You need to you need some sort of tech skills, some computer skills to help you. I think that's one of them. You mentioned soft skills. I think, you know, I feel we're okay, right? The sky's not falling. Our youth are going to be just fine. But there is some differences maybe just in how they carry themselves or how they communicate, right? A lot more of it is informal or not face-to-face. So that's certainly with the younger generation something we can teach. But, you know, that's always the case, right? How can we build a better employee?
Right.
That's what we talk about. I mean, we talk about skills. We talk about that all the time. What skills do you bring to the next job?
And it just so happens that today I have 2 students from the leadership class from Ridgewater College, and I'm telling you, you had a nice firm handshake. That is like the key indicator for me,
right.
because it starts beginning a relationship, right? And so those are things that I think that those of us who may be more mature are looking for in the opportunity to build a relationship. And do I trust you? What does that look like? And that looks like so different to everybody, right?
The other side of it, though, I mean, to their credit, they're maybe not as stuck in this is how we do things. They're maybe willing to flex and adapt and be creative and go, okay, let's approach this from a different angle. So
Which
there's some great stuff there too.
I really appreciate,
yeah.
right? It's kind of like when you have a new employee, no matter their age, you say, you're a new set of eyes. How can we do this better, differently? And I didn't think I was as stuck in my box as I think I've learned that I am. So I'm just
Of course you are. That comes with
burst out
experience.
of my box, right? Yeah.
You had to create that box too, though, right? I mean, when you were young, you were still
Gee, it's almost
formidable
like
and-
Corey's been working with youth for a long time.
I have. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. We all have different experiences from our past,
Yeah.
right? Now we're in a counseling session. I feel like I should be laying down.
But you know, to bring it back to the job piece, what I discuss a lot with people is about skills, right? Especially again those workers that have been around for a while, they want to talk about their work history. Well, it matters, but really, what the next job, what they want to see is what do you bring to the table? What skills do you have that make us better, right?
And what do you like to do?
Yeah, well, you have to have
I think,
to
right?
have some enjoyment in that for
Right.
sure. Yep.
So we talk about a 70-30 balance, right? 70% of the time you should be doing something that gives you energy. It doesn't suck energy from you. You do it well, you know it well, you're unconsciously competent because you just know it. And then 30% of the time you should be doing things that are growth. Maybe they take a little bit more energy, maybe they suck a little bit more out of you, but it's a growth opportunity. And I think that that's really important to help young people understand. You're not going to like everything about your job, but you're also not meant to, because then you're not going to grow a little bit.
Yeah, you got to push yourself
Yeah.
through some of those things.
Yeah.
I think sometimes with dislocated workers or people that have been maybe underemployed, that's a big thing that we explore as well. Some career exploration with them. You know, some people, if they've been at a job for a long time, they go, maybe it's time to do something else.
Yeah.
Maybe I have been doing this thing for a really long time and I need to grow and challenge myself by doing something different. And Sometimes when you get laid off at first, it can be a pretty big panic piece, right? It's pretty scary. But then when they start to really calm down, we talk about have a plan rather than just throwing darts at the wall. Figure out what you're going to do. And then all of a sudden the possibilities start to open up a little bit, like, oh, yeah, I've been thinking about doing this thing for a really long time, and all of a sudden I got the opportunity to do it now. So sometimes that crisis can really become an opportunity for a new chance at life, so to speak.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons I send people over to you, and I talk to people on a regular basis. And I'm like, in fact, we had a gentleman this morning. He's retired, but he realizes he's got to get a little. There's got to be a little something out there for him. Very skilled worker. Why don't you go talk to them? Because he'd heard about a job fair. We're going to talk about that a little bit in a bit. Go talk to them, because I think that the fact that you have that opportunity for discovery, right? Because there are transferable skills, and you might have one thing, and it's transferable, but maybe we use different words. Maybe we are thinking in different thought processes. Like veterans, or you have a new program that you're working with, you were just telling me about.
Yeah, the Internationally Trained Professionals grant that we received from the state, and that's to assist people.
I think we're the only provider in the state. There might be one other, but not very many. But.
Yeah.
It's because you're cool.
It's because we're the best, yeah. So we're able to assist people that have had training and or college degrees from other countries, and they move here to help them kind of translate their education through our education system, maybe get some credit so they can get back into that career in this country. So we work with, we're currently working with people from the Ukraine, but any new Americans that come, we have funding available to help them navigate that process, because it's scary moving to a new country and learning a new language and then trying to find a job so you can pay rent. And so we have funding available through the state to assist people with that.
Okay. And I'm going to just guess that you have some veteran programs probably as well.
We work with the state. We work with the veterans representative through the state. And on careerforcemn.com, that's the new state website, they're having a virtual hiring event for veterans. So we all work in partnership with them, with vocational rehab services, unemployment. We're all partners at the Career Force Center to help people find jobs.
Look at that. That's really good producing right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, so veterans get priority of service with us, but we don't necessarily have any specific programs. But like Bridget just said, we partner with those other state agencies to accomplish that.
You don't have to duplicate.
Right.
No.
You can partner.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So you had a couple of dates that you wanted to talk about that are coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of those.
We really try to be involved with the community and understand what's going on. So I'm a part of the chamber. We work with Ridgewater a lot. So we're at the next Ridgewater event, which is April 21st. It's kind of a welcome day for people in the community to come in and check out the college.
Discover Ridgewater.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. And so we are always there with a table, handing out our flyers and trying to tell people about our programs. And then also we're partnering with Hutchinson radio station and EDA to do the career fair in-person hiring event. And that's April 27th.
27th.
Yep, from 11 to 2:30 at the event center here in town. And so we'll be there at a table because we want to help the businesses and support their growth, but we also want to, talk to the job seekers. And if it's overwhelming to go to an in-person event like that, you can reach out to us or find our table, and we will walk around with you and we will help you have those conversations with potential employers, because it can be a scary moment. And so we're there to help make that buffer zone and also provide support.
Can I share just an example of a career fair sort of maybe success story?
Absolutely not. Okay, go for it.
Okay.
I told you.
Thank you for
I
permission.
warned you before we started.
Thank you for permission. There's another business service coordinator. His name is Tim. Different area. He had a connection with a kid that came to a job fair pretty deer in the headlights. Didn't really know what was going on. He was working just part-time, sort of seasonal stuff, but he was looking for a job. So he went there kind of pretty overwhelmed. So we walked through. It was really fun to sort of coach him through a resume. He sent a first draft. I sent him some revisions. He got a job, and he's going to be starting very, very soon. We're going to do an OJT with him. Just fantastic. For us to see the coaching process work,
Right.
and it worked. like it was supposed to for this kid.
OJT.
On the job training. Yeah.
And
yeah.
what does that mean?
Okay, so let's say like this guy, he's a pretty good candidate. They want to hire him, but maybe he's missing a piece. Maybe he's 90% there, right? So they like the guy. They like what he's got, but he's missing a part. You talked about onboarding before and how that can be an expensive process, but those businesses, they want to see you up to speed at a certain point. And on-the-job training gives some extended training for that person. So they hire them, start the process, but it allows just for some additional training up to 16 weeks. So
Okay.
instead of maybe what's a normal onboarding, 3, 4, whatever it is, right? It just allows for that extended training process for him to get up
For
to
them
speed.
to get up to speed.
Yep. So rather than him going through more of a formal training process at Ridgewater or something like that, they feel that they can adequately train him to be where they want him to be
On-site.
in
Okay.
16 weeks.
So, I'm hearing a lot about removing barriers.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so maybe this person isn't right up to speed, but by gosh, they've got that potential and we know that we can get them there. I hear things like maybe they're an underserved population, maybe they have some history that has prevented them from taking that next step, even going to a job fair, right? So for me, walking into a room of people I don't know isn't particularly intimidating. But for some people, it's probably paralyzing.
Having to market yourself 26 times over at every table that you stop at. Hey, my
Right.
name is George, and I'm
And not watering it down.
but an elevator speech, so to speak, so that you're not talking too long and just leaving a good impression. And
Right.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah, not talking about how you went to a party last night.
Right.
Yeah.
I think another population that I personally really have a passion for, but I think we have as an agency have a passion for, is for people that are, they call them justice involved now, people that are incarcerated or have some sort of a criminal history. Those are barriers, and they're very real barriers.
yeah.
And just to continue to have conversations with businesses about what does it mean to hire someone, how can we reduce that risk?
Right.
What are
It's
some
a-
safety nets that businesses can have if something happens? Because those do exist through the state.
Yeah.
If you hire somebody that has a certain background, there are some federal bonding programs that you can use in case something happens. And then we also work with these people to help them talk about their past, but also talk about their future and what they want to bring to the community. Because overall, the best thing for our community is to get these folks back to work and
Right.
on a path that's healthy. And Corey
Yeah.
goes into the jail, and we have several staff that do that too in different areas, working directly with people that are going to be released soon and how to move forward with their life.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Someone who maybe feels like they hit the bottom, they really screwed up, quote unquote, all sorts of different things that might be going through someone's head. But then to have somebody like you or somebody else to come in and say, you know what, there's opportunity here. That's got to be really a special message to carry.
Yeah. There's, this is my personal take, right? If a person commits a crime, we have laws, right, that state, okay, this is the consequence of that. I firmly believe that. If you do that, there should be a consequence. That's the rules, that's the law. But what happens a lot is that charge, especially if it's a felony charge, follows them for a really, really long time. And again, there's a difference, there is, between maybe a person that's just a criminal, that's the way they live. And again, we'll still work with those people. But there's some people that they made a mistake, right? They made a bad choice. And it was one. Maybe it was multiple, whatever. I'm not trying to justify any of that. But it really follows them for a long time. And if we can figure out, but they want to work, but they've got this thing hanging over their head. And we just feel like there's a really good potential workforce there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And perhaps there's probably lots of us in this world that maybe made those same mistakes, but didn't get caught. And we're walking around like normal,
Right.
and we're getting hired, that sort of thing. So,
Right.
so
Well,
just
I think about it this way. Our kids break a rule and there's a consequence for it. But we pick them back up kiss them on the forehead, and keep them going.
Yeah, we're terrible parents if we keep holding on to that, right?
Right.
Like we're
Yeah.
we keep punishing them, or we keep
Because
never
if
giving
you've
them a
served,
chance
you've
again.
served for that
Yep.
that punishment for that thing.
And it's
there's
ultimately,
opportunity.
it still is ultimately there on them to prove it,
Yep.
right? But if we can help them with that, make some changes, break some, what's it called?
Like stereotype.
No, break,
stigma.
just break that,
We're gonna give them all the words.
break the cycle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like, do it different than it was done before. Maybe they've never been taught that.
And
Maybe
I'm not
they
going to
won't.
call anybody out, but we have some really good examples in our community of people who have come from being incarcerated for short-term, long-term,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and having successful careers, and people don't think anything more of it.
Yep.
Maybe because they don't know, or maybe they've shared, whatever that is. So we do know that happens
for sure.
successfully.
Yep.
Even people like maybe because of their offense, they can't go back into a certain profession, like healthcare or
Okay.
government
But they can still have a
work.
career.
Yes,
Yep.
we just help you do that transferable skills
Yep.
and get them into a career pathway where they don't have to worry about that background check, and they can talk about their past and move forward with their future.
Now, I know I said it, you've said it, transferable skills. Maybe we should define that for our audience.
Sure. So we all have skills, hard and soft skills. Hard skills are things that you learn on the job or through education. They can be taught. A soft skill is, your people skills, or are you on time? Are you orderly? Do you show up for work on time? And you're scheduled, right? So we all have kind of a set of skills that we carry with us. Sometimes we can think that that skill is only specific to a job, but in reality, you can take that skill, especially reword it. We talked about that before. You kind of just change the way it's worded or whatever. All of a sudden, it becomes this skill that comes with you, and it's something that you bring forward instead of something that stays in the past. It's a skill that you've acquired or that you're wired for just naturally that you carry with you wherever you go.
So a good example of that, Louis Goldstein works in the Army and was working with some of our businesses to talk about transferable skills and actually asking for help to identify and define certain skill sets, because they could have somebody who was in procurement, i.e. managing billions of dollars of equipment and getting it from point A to point B, C, and D across the other side of the world.
Making sure all the manufacturing has what they need. And,
Right?
Yeah.
And so being able to have that conversation and understanding that just because military calls it this and we call it this doesn't mean it's not the same
Yep,
thing.
that's right.
And so trying to manage those conversations.
Mm-hmm,
Okay, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, if somebody is like, I didn't know, I want to talk to them right now, they can walk in your doors.
Yep,
You are on the southernmost end of Ridgewater College.
correct. Door 24.
Door 24. Ooh, door 24. I think there's a hashtag there.
Sure. It's called Career Force. So we're under the umbrella of Career Force. We're Central Minnesota Jobs and Training, one of the partners with Career Force. So you'll see the Career Force sign. That's where we're at. And Randy will greet you ever so politely, like he always does. He's great at his job.
Yes, he is.
And he'll direct from there where it needs
Perfect.
to go.
You can also go on to the Chamber website, and if you go on to find a business and put in Central Minnesota, they will pop up automatically.
Yeah, cmjts.org is our website, and we also have a Facebook page. So we're promoting, local businesses and initiatives in the area on our Facebook page as well.
I know you guys are really busy, so thank you so much for making the time
Thanks
to be
for- thanks,
here
Mary.
and sharing with
Thank you.
all of us what you've got going on.
We're a live studio audience.
And today with a live studio audience. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so grateful that you're here and that you're listening in on some of the things that are happening in the workforce world here in Hutchinson, Minnesota, because we are not in Kansas. No, we are in Minnesota. Why do I say that? Because we've had 5 calls this week from Kansas looking for things. Okay, you guys, I hope that you have a great month,
We'd
and
serve
we
them
will
both.
see you next month.